My name is Rusenica and I'm in the mood to rant today. So today we are going to be ranting about the issues, irritation, annoyance I feel in being perceived as somebody who's in an interracial relationship as, yeah, okay, you caught me, I have a white husband. I know. Today I wanted to specifically speak on my kind of real insecurity as being perceived as a Black woman with a white man, not because I'm ashamed of like our dynamic or our relationship. We've been together for 6 years, married for almost 3. So I feel very secure in us. However, there just is something when you're in an interracial relationship where it just feels a little bit like uncomfortable when you have to introduce your partner to people who like had no idea that you were in an interracial relationship. Also, I typically turn off the comments for videos like this because it just attracts a certain type of hatefulness that I just do not feel like looking at. However, today I want to keep the conversation open, but it is not open to people who are just going to be dedicated to misunderstanding this and going to be openly disrespectful. But you know what? If you comment something hateful, that only says something about you. It says nothing about me. I'm embarrassed for you. I'm not embarrassed by you. So if you're gonna leave hate, you're not welcome here. But if you leave something constructive or valuable, I appreciate that. And this is also not a big deal, okay? This is just something that I've thought about for a very long time. One thing that was even said to me in like the early days of me and my husband dating, one of my don't sue me. One of my like hinted at the fact that he didn't know. Said like, oh, I didn't know. I had no idea who Chris is, my husband's name. I had no idea who Chris liked in high school. I had no idea what type he went for. I never knew what he liked. I never knew what he liked. And I was like, just say it. You know, it's like, just say it. I'm not immune to the shock of like somebody being with somebody else that you imagine them being different. I don't know how to explain that in a way that makes sense, that's cohesive at all. Like there are so many natural things about wondering about other couples when they don't necessarily match up in your head. Like there's a lot of natural curiosity and honestly bias and prejudice that comes with that I understand. However, being the other in the relationship and having taken on like people's reactions, I've just kind of stored them. And now I just need to just speak about how like it's uncomfortable. Like it's uncomfortable and weird for me. Probably for my husband as well, but I feel like for most of the part me, because I feel like there is a lot of emphasis placed on like when you're like the white counterpart to the interracial relationship and there's like a Black counterpart. For the most part, people are wondering about like his attraction to me versus my attraction to him. That is very presumptuous of me to say. However, I feel it's correct. Okay, this is an important point that I really hope that you're going to understand. In the most simplest terms, I kind of view attraction, or I guess even like sexuality, as like if somebody has only ever had like vanilla cake their whole entire life and then they try chocolate cake and they let you know that they like chocolate cake after having tried it, that doesn't mean that they are exclusively only going to be thinking about chocolate cake and only going to eat chocolate cake for the rest of their life. It just expands their palate. This is so dehumanizing and so objectifying of myself. But in the simplest terms, the whole idea of he likes insert whatever, most people don't just like one specific group. Also, the idea that you could say he likes Black girls, is weird because are we talking Black like me? Are we talking Black like Zendaya? Are we talking Black like Meghan Markle? There's so many different versions of Black as it relates to being a Black person that it weirds me out when people try to confine, oh, they like this group of people, because it's like we are very different as a group. It's hard because also having heard, oh, I didn't know he liked Black girls, or I didn't know they like insert whatever random group of people that like is not just the default of like white and thin. I think it's kind of weird and disgusting, the idea that like when somebody steps out of who like your societal default goes to, all of a sudden that's the people that they like that's their group, that's their group. Just because when my husband and I first started dating, he did not like black girls. He liked me, and I happen to be black. And I know that sounds annoying, like, coming from me. It's so annoying. It makes me sound like Candace Owens, dude. I hate the idea that my husband and I could be perceived, and somebody could think of me as a Candace, and then him as somebody who's, like, fetishizing me. And then I also don't like the idea that somebody could look at me and see somebody who, like, has self-hatred. Because let's just be so honest, there are a lot of self-hating black people who date outside of their race and talk down to their race. In middle school, when I had a lot of self-hatred and I was, as an adoptee, as a transracial adoptee, there was a lot of feeling like your value is in your proximity to whiteness. So, like, your behaviors and the people that you were around being more white felt like there was more value there. I have since worked through that and acknowledged it and said it out loud so that I could break through that. But there are some people who I genuinely feel as though have not done that. And then will go on tirades of, like, talking down to other black people. I am not one of them. It makes me so uncomfortable, especially because I do have a white family. And now that I have a white spouse, I just feel like there are some things being perceived about me that just feel so opposite to, like, the way that I think. That's, like, a very real thing that I wanted to bring up, is just the insecurity of, you know, perception by people that unless you take the time to get to know me and my husband as, like, people and see us as human beings who are actually legitimately incredibly compatible, that you could just perceive us as just like, oh, that's that black girl that likes that white guy, and that's that white guy that likes black girls. Also, I do just want to say, when people say, like, oh, he like black girls, or, like, if you like thick girls, or if you whatever, like, there's nothing wrong with having a preference of liking something. There is a problem with communicating about it in a negative way. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm talking about people who have self-hatred in them, most of the time you can tell because they speak about it in ways that are very overt and harmful to the people that are, like, in their people group. If you have a preference and, like, you like a certain group of people, how you communicate about it, like, shows whether or not you view, like, that people group as, like, genuinely human, and you don't, like, dehumanize them or fetishize them. I just get so uncomfortable, and I just needed to rant about that a little bit in a way that just did not make sense. It's not structured at all, but it's just something that I've been thinking about for the past couple of years. If you found value from this video, please let me know in any way, shape, or form. Please give me a like or a comment. It helps out my channel. Like, literally a couple seconds changes the way that YouTube boosts my video and changes how many people can see it and like it. Thanks. Wherever you, oh my god, I forgot to do the thing. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or night.